Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Garage Talk with RONIN 47R. This is episode 2, and it's kind of this freelance, free speech, free wheeling and dealing kind of series where I just kind of babble about whatever it is that I want, answering questions that you folks have submitted, and that sort of thing. On a selfish note, I'm kind of liking it. It's just kind of a nice, it's almost like I'm platooning with you, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze as we're playing together. Although, of course, we're not playing together, and I'm not really playing right now. I'm just watching these videos, you know, for entertainment in the background. But anyways, so, you know, some of the things that I wanted to go over was, you know, reflecting back on the Bounty Hunter event, which was a really fun thing. And Juan Solis was bringing up some, one of my subscribers was bringing up some discussions about how he was playing that and how the, you know, the bounties should be. And then Mike Keeley, aka Dark Life 56, was jumping in on that conversation and just kind of following the discussion that we were having on the discussion boards for one of the videos. And, you know, one of the ideas that they came up with was, you know, changing the amount of the bounty, or if you were a defender, you know, maybe the defenders who are protecting the person who the bounty is after, you know, the WG employee, maybe they should get something, you know, for protecting them. And it's kind of a nice idea, you know, it was a lot of fun. So there's lots of things that you can do with the Bounty Hunter event. There's even some of us in Club Wargaming that have been shooting, you know, toss around the idea of maybe, you know, doing something similar for us, you know, where the fans, you know, try to go after us and take us out. And of course, with the new advent of the 1.10 update with, you know, the teams in a private room and that sort of thing, you know, I don't want to say the possibilities are endless, but they sure are opening up. So just, you know, something to think about. All right, and following up some more questions that have been showing up on the discussion board, we have Milo Samuel is another subscriber of mine, and he was asking a question in regards to one of the announcements, one of the discussions that I had about the 1.10 update. His question was, you know, what do I think about a minimum of 6 players? And my answer is, you know, gosh, I wish you can do it with just 1 player. And some of you are probably wondering, why the heck would you want a private room with just 1 player? And I thought, you know, it'd be nice if you can just log in, you're on your own, minding your own business, and you can research maps. You know, you're cruising around, you're doing some recon on the maps, figuring out where some good hiding places are, do some little tests on your own. So if you had a minimum of 1 player, I think that'd be great. You know, bringing it down to 2 players, if they had to do that for a minimum, that's doable as well. But I would love to see it with 1 person, you know, 2 people. I'd be happy with that. And then from a selfish standpoint, when it comes to, you know, whether you're recording or you're not recording, if you have 2 folks that are in a private room, now you can set up some tests. You know, you and your buddy are setting things up and saying, okay, you know, experiments like, all right, with this tank and you shooting me and me at this angle, does it pen? Okay, now back up, you know, try it at this distance. Can you see me here? I mean, really, that is almost an endless possibility on that front, because every question that you can come up with, if you had a private room with 2 people, you can turn around and start doing a bunch of experiments and trainings and figuring out a lot of the mechanics on your own. And I think that would be extremely helpful. I don't know how many people would take advantage of that, but I think it would be extremely helpful, and I definitely would take advantage of it. And I know a lot of people that would. So, Wargaming, if you can put that on the Christmas list, although move it more to the, you know, closer to now, because I don't want to wait till Christmas or, you know, Ramadan or Hanukkah or whatever. The point, my birthday, you know, if you can put that out there, that'd be great. All right, and as I continue on going through the list of questions that folks have submitted to me, another question that was asked was, how do I feel about playing, you know, this version, meaning the World, you know, the World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition versus the PC version, and do I find it easier and more enjoyable like I do, or if not, what you think needs to be done to make it better? So let me go ahead and answer that one for you. All right, nothing like sharing opinions. So, you know, how do I feel about playing this on the PC version? Well, first of all, going backwards in time, I guess way back, you know, 1,000 years ago when I first started playing games, you know, electronic games, it was, I guess it would be considered console, you know, before the PC came out. And so that's kind of, you know, what I'm used to. But then the PC came out, and you've got things like everything from, you know, SimCity from back in the day when Windows 3.8 or whatever, and then you were 3.1, and then you've got Doom coming out, and you're installing through DOS, and then you've got all the fun stuff that's happened between then and now. So with that said, I mean, gosh, there's pros and cons. Personally, right now, for this one particular game, sure, I like the Xbox 360 edition better. Does that mean I don't once in a while break out the PC and do it? Sure, but I hardly play the same game on the PC just because I have limited time. So I have to kind of go with, first place, second place, third place. And first place is going to be, World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. It's just more enjoyable for me. And then for my current second place, if I'm going to go ahead and burn some time, is I'm going to play the World of Warships, and of course that's going to go ahead and be on the PC. So that's pretty much my first place and second place. Now, do I find it more enjoyable? Gosh, if you have the right system, the PC is really pretty, and it has kind of just a God, how do you explain it? It's kind of like you wear jeans from two different companies. They're both jeans. They both fit you, but they feel a little different because of the cut, the style, whatever. The PC, the console, they have their pros and cons. I just feel, one of the things that I've noticed, at least I'm just kind of regurgitating what the developer said, is that it appears, based on what I've noticed, and so take that with a big grain of salt, because who am I? But also what the developers have said, and that is when it comes to developing the game for the console, everybody has the same hardware and the same software that runs that hardware. But the point is, everyone has the same hardware. So what the developers were saying when I was listening to an interview is that when it comes to the console, their job is a lot easier, or I should say more efficient. And I should even go further and say what they were saying is that you can eke out the maximum amount of performance from the hardware by writing the software, which is in this case the game, to max out that hardware, and so you get the most bang for your buck, and you get a really beautiful a game to play. Now, that doesn't say that the PC version isn't beautiful, but what they were saying is that when it comes to the PC version, they have to write software kind of aimed at the middle, because you're going to have folks with computers that are ranging not only in performance, but you have Intel processor, AMD, you've got the video cards, RAM, processing speed in general, in all these things, operating systems. So you have all these things that are variables. So when it comes from a software standpoint, they're creating a program that has to work for everybody. And by doing so, they're not able to maximize the potential of the PC version software, in contrast to what I just explained with the console version. So anyways, so that's what I think about it. And now you're probably sorry you asked, because it's so long of an answer. All right. And at the risk of being, using the trademarked usual answer, the question was asked by Andrew Spallon, another subscriber, and he says, when do you think the Chinese will come out? And of course, I want to make a joke, but he's referring to the Chinese tanks. And my answer to that is the word soon. And in the upper right-hand corner, in a very small letters, the letters T and the letters M. So that's a little inside joke about how the answer is always soon, because even if I know the answer, whether I do or don't, I cannot confirm nor deny. But, the answer is soon. And the only reason why I can even go that far without getting my hand slapped is because you would think, based on what was, quote, leaked, whether it's on purpose or not, what was it? It was that you go to the stats page, and then you can see the different countries for the tanks, right? So anyways, looking at that stats page, folks on the forums and in discussion boards on underneath the videos on my channel, folks have been noticing that the different countries are showing up, but yet abracadabra, now there's a brand new country added to the list, which was China. So a lot of folks are making a conclusion, which is logical, especially since we usually, it appears, based on history, that we follow the PC way of life, so that it seems natural to predict that Chinese tanks will eventually come to the World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. But only time will tell. All right, well, jumping off to another question here. Looks like David Eagle, one of my subscribers, is asking a question or bringing up, well, let me just read it. He says, would like to hear your thoughts or see a video on the Tier 10 British Heavy FV215B. And here's my answer. I mean, I've already answered them on the discussion board, but for those of you who are also thinking about British Lions and whatnot, I would like to see it too, because, yeah, I'm really far away from that. I've just, gosh, in all honesty, first of all, let's just talk about the, tier 10s. I own a big whopping 1, and I've unlocked my second tier 10, and now I'm grinding silver in the, the huge amount of spare time that I have. Being facetious there, to get the 6.2 million for my next tier 10. So it's unlocked, but I need the money. Meanwhile, when it comes to the British line, I'm still stuck on the heavy tank, Black Prince, and I have quite a ways to grind. So it would be, go ahead and mark me down on the calendar for a year and a day for me to get to the tier 10 British heavy tank. Will it happen? Of course, eventually. I want to be, I want to do the Pokemon thing, and got to catch them all. I want to collect every tank because I'm, silly like that. But that would be fun. But when it happens, absolutely, I'll be recording that. So something to look forward to. All right, moving on to another question that was submitted or discussion that was started. We have a subscriber, Dustin J. Pardue, and he was asking if I wanted to platoon today. I don't know if it was in response to me putting out a Twitter, twat'em to, well, I can come up with some more words, but I won't. But, so using Twitter, which is the main way that I go ahead and let people know that I'm going to be platooning, not to mention other announcements as well. I'm not trying to promote Twitter or any other social media per se. It's just kind of a tool that I use. In fact, I don't even do social media except for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is in regards to World of Tanks, the channel and Club Wargaming, and that's sort of communicating with each other, the players and fellow YouTubers, etc. So with that said, to answer your question, do I want to platoon today? I already answered that. But I mean, as far as how to do it, which is the follow-up question, and that is everyone who is interested in platooning with me, basically, number one, make sure that you follow me on Twitter. So what happens is when I know that I have an opening, a time, if I know ahead of time, like well ahead of time, well, then I can publish it in ways that are more like in a video or whatnot. But usually that doesn't happen. Usually it's something like, oh, hey, look at that. I have 2 hours that just opened up today, or, I find out tomorrow or something. And I'll go ahead and, put out the tweet. Hey, everybody, whoever wants to platoon, send me a message. So that's pretty much how you're going to platoon with me. So you'll just basically shoot me a message. I'll see that you're on and that you're interested, and I think you can hold 5 folks in a platoon, and you can just if I have room, boom, pull you right in. We're good to go. Meanwhile, just for the record, not that it really matters, but usually I play on the West. Sometimes I play on the East, and sometimes on the EU server. Now, in regards to the whole, which brings up the next question, somebody was asking, and I don't have it in front of me, so I can't say exactly who it was, but a lot of people are asking about the friend lists. And I kind of, I've talked to Cosmic Carry, I've talked to Wizard Ken, talked to Rush Dodge, and why am I bringing those guys up? Well, the thing is you're highly visible, obviously, as a YouTuber. People, recognize you, they see you, and that's great. So naturally, you can predict that folks will go ahead and send you a friend request. Well, if you have a limit of 100 people that you can have on your friend list, and you're like Wizard Ken, who has 5.6 billion, subscribers. No, I'm not jealous. No, but seriously, you have, he has like over 4,000, and when you have so many folks, I mean, I only have less than 600, but gosh, I can't put 600 on my friend list. So what do they do? What do I do? Or what should I do? Is kind of the question I've been asking my colleagues there, because I look up to those guys, and basically what they've been saying is some folks put out the video and they explain it, and some folks just, do it in little messages or whatnot. But basically, here's the deal. I have a limited amount of room, and if I, play with you often, or if you're someone that, I'm doing I don't want to say the word business with, but you know, there are folks in wargaming that I have on my friends list for commonsensical reasons because we're, you know, working on projects together. There's YouTubers that I have on my list because, again, we're working on projects together. I mean, obviously, you know, there's also the friend aspect too, but the pragmatic is that, you know, we got to get some things done. And so there's some folks that absolutely have to be on my list, and that's just how it is. Meanwhile, the rest of the folks are filled in with people that I've met randomly, you know, or they ask if I can be on your friends list, and I say okay, and that's fine. But what I ran into the problem with, you know, being the new guy on the block here, is that I ran out of space really quickly. So what I need to do is I'm just going to tell you guys, and I'll bring it up, you know, several times every once in a while to remind people. But basically, if I don't see you or if I don't interact with you often, no offense to you, please do not be offended by it. You know, I'm going to take you off the friend list, and you know, if you notice that and you need to get back on, you know, shoot me a message, and if I have room, great, and if I don't, I don't. But you know, if you ever fall off of the list, it has nothing to do with me liking you, not liking you, or any of that nonsense. That's too much drama for me. It's just literally, sadly, that I only have so much room. And, you know, my schedule matches some of you, you know, so if you're online often enough where you and I seem to be working out and we're getting some platooning or whatever the case may be, then absolutely, I'll keep you on the friend list because it makes sense. If you're someone that I only see once every 3 months or something like that, it doesn't make sense. You know, if I just met you one time, it just doesn't make sense. So again, I just want to go ahead and let you know, please do not be offended by that if you fall off the list. It is not personal. It is exactly as I described it. So, so what do you do to platoon with me? You know, you just basically, I mean, you know my gamer tag, so you just simply send a message to me. I don't have to be on your friend list to receive a message. And if I say, hey, I'm going to be platooning and at, you know, 12 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time, well, then you know when I'm going to be on, and you can shoot me a message. And even if I'm not on, the message will be sitting there. So, and that way I can pull you in. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, guys. The next question here is by the Baconator, and he is looking at, well, he was, you know, asking me to do a review on the AMX 12T. Apparently he just got it, he says, and he's not doing as well as he'd like. So I will put that on the mental to-do list because there are so many cool tanks that I want to get to. All right, folks, so now moving on to another item here, and one of the things that I want to remember to do is there's a guy I know, his gamer tag is Go Michigan ST82. That's his you know, YouTube name. You may want to go check out his channel. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is he's a guy that I met through Cosmic Carry when we were doing some platooning once upon a time. Cool guy. And, you know, I would suggest checking out his stuff. You know, again, I'm going to bring up one of the cool things about YouTube channels, even though we're all talking about, not that we are, but even if we were to all talk about the exact same tank, we're all going to go ahead and put in a different slant on it, a different angle on it. And you, the viewer, have the benefit, which is great, to subscribe to many channels because you're going to get so much different information, things that I'm going to miss, that someone else is going to pick up on, and vice versa. So again, please, by all means, you know, check everybody out. Check out my, you know, my friends list, the Brothers in Arms, and you know, if I come across somebody, let me know. And if you come across somebody, let me know. You know, and I'll let you know, and we'll all have a group hug. So it's all good. All right, guys. So that is that. I just wanted to make sure to give my buddy Michigan there a shout out and a little promotion there before I forget. And then another typical kind of question. You know, it's funny. A lot of people ask me the same type of question. Just change the name of the tank, and they'll say something like, should I go for this line of tank or should I go for that line of tank? In this particular question, it's, should I go, you know, I have some gold and I want to get a premium tank and it's tier 8 and it's a heavy tank, so at least they've narrowed it down, right? So that's a good thing. And then they ask, should I go for the Luva or should I go for the T-34? And, you know, I've answered this person in the past and others, you know, in a similar way, which is it really goes back to two things in my mind. One is the pragmatic, which is if you're really working a German nation tanks, then go with a German premium tank. If you're going with the American, you know, nation, then I would be really going for an American premium tank. Well, let's just pretend, for all intents and purposes, that because I never got an answer on that one, which is, you know, which one is more important or which one is the one that you're working on. Then it goes to Plan B, the second part of it, and that is, well, what's your play style? You know, the T-34 is, you know, he's not a sniper. He is more of a, you know, he is a high alpha And he is a heavy tank, but he is not a brawler tank. I'm not going to get in someone's face and start face hugging and exposing my, my body and all that kind of stuff. It's a hull down. For me, it's a hull down, peek-a-boom tank, I mean, I know nobody wants to get hit, but I'm just saying I'm a lot more comfortable taking, I don't know, an IS-6, I will go ahead and expose my whole body, not necessarily on purpose, but I'm just saying if that happens, I'm not cringing and as much as if it was the T-34. Now the Luva, second line tank, gosh, I don't even remember if I put goggles on mine. I think I have binoculars on mine. I honestly don't remember, but it is something that I would, contemplate because it is for a heavy tank, it is pretty darn accurate, and it has German glass, it has some good view range. Good pen, so on and so forth. So, again, obviously hull down, but you just play it differently. So that would be my answer to that question. All right, and so this particular one is wrapping up, so I need to go ahead and knock out a few more questions here and wrap it up for this session. And one of the questions was asked about the T-34-88, and they're asking, is it true that it trains German and Russian crews? And here's my long answer. Yes. Yeah, it's a great tank, and it does not have a silver multiplier. It just earns silver like anybody else that does not have a multiplier. But it does have a crew multiplier. So if you want to go ahead and raise your crew to grow up to be strong young men, then this is definitely the tank to have fun in doing it. And the next question here is by a subscriber, Leo. You know what? You're gonna kill me here. Leovaeg. So Leo Vague. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please make sure that you let me know. Meanwhile, he was talking about how he liked my Garage Talk 1.5, and I was making a tongue-in-cheek. But I was trying to make a point. But it was tongue-in-cheek with the whole Gladiator movie and how there's some lessons there to be used with teamwork in the world of tanks. And he was really into it. And one of the things he was mentioning was. And I totally agree, but I'll give you my answer at the end. He says, the only suggestion is to add another 1 minute to the video and include a brief moment of in-game play along with each movie bit, like one for communication and one for guarding a wounded friendly and so on, right? And I totally agree, but time. The editing, okay, I can record something, right? I can record 1 minute. I don't know what the exact formula is, but let's say if I record one game, you have no idea how many hours it takes to put into, well, for me, properly, editing a game and turn it into a good vid. All right, guys. Well, this experiment continues, and I appreciate you guys standing by or stopping by and let me know what you think. So, folks, I will catch you guys later. Remember, if you receive this transmission, you are one of the 47 Ronin.